Our Destined Rivals still going insane. So the cases are now back around 2100. So at 2075, I told you guys yesterday like there's not a lot of cases on the market. So they're up $100, $345 a booster box. It's a $40 difference between loose booster boxes. For that's a huge case premium. Like you're paying $240 more for a case than if you would best loose boxes. Booster boxes up $5 or $6 to 305. PCTBs have risen back to 250, so up $4. Bundles have risen about $1.50. But yeah, let's look at how the booster box are doing. So 305, 305. There's only so Battle Bunker still has these 12 at 305. Otherwise, a lot of people do want to still sell at 310 to 313 or 315. And demand wise, you're still seeing the increased demand, still selling about 15 per day. Demand hasn't really dropped. Like it's dropped to this level, but it's maintaining 15 boxes per day, and it's still pretty insane. Like it's still enough to buy out a lot of these boxes. Five already sold today. I look at cases. Yeah, even actually zero cases sold yesterday, which means that there's another case for pricing, where yeah they probably just move the cases around. I've been telling like if you do the numbers, there's 50 on the market. A lot of them are probably Trading Card World and this elegant product. Otherwise, it's just this one, and it goes to 2100. Um, and and then I look at the PCTB is back up. Sold 6 yesterday, so it's kind of normalish, but I think people are trying to get to these. I do see 216 in the horizon. Illumination has always had a ton of supply of things, so they're keeping the price down at 250 now. For the ETBs, they sold 15 yesterday, which is a little less than usual. And then the bundles, which are kind of the cheapest option, they sold only 20s too. So the fact that booster bundle demand is dropping shows that people don't really aren't necessarily going for the booster bundles, even though they're cheapest. They want the booster boxes. There's definitely a lot of value in the booster boxes, even though it's like a 50-cent difference. 40-cent difference for like loose booster boxes. Just to note, I am skipping Black Bolt, White Flare, and Bank Evolution today to save some time. Sorry about that. They'll be back tomorrow probably. Our 151, we're seeing a bunch of price rises. So UPCs are at 357 now. I think it's a new high. ETBs are at 306 now, up about $13. UPCs are up $23. PCTBs back up to the 360s, 370s, up $41. Binders are even increasing about $4. And Blooming Waters has kind of doubled in demand and they're upsold for. So let's just go over that. So Blooming Waters, go over first. So last 4 days, I've been seeing demand around let's say 13 to 18. Before that, we were hovering around roughly like 3 to 7 per day for a while, and the price suddenly dropped all of a sudden as more Blooming Waters has hit the market, and so yeah, the demand has kind of doubled, and I do see the price point head back to a 135. I think this is a great pickup if you can get it at the lower price of around $100. Um, and other things. So the bundles also had more demand. So when I actually counted up the bundles, there's 57. Usually it's been selling about 30 per day. You can't really tell from the graph. But yeah, bundle demand also increased all of a sudden, and 75 were sold. I mean, $75 is still the price. They've been hovering around $75 for a while. I'm finally starting to see a 76. But yeah, for some reason they've been 75 for so long. And then PCTBs, they sold zero yesterday actually, which is kind of weird. But I guess people shifted their prices up a little bit. But you see all this bunch of around 870. Packs sold about 50 packs yesterday, and the lowest price is around 1114. And the normally to be at 305 sold 3 yesterday, 2 today, and it's an item a lot of people wanna have, just because it's like so rare. Next price points are toward about like 315. There's a jump to 315 after these three are sold at 305. UPC is at 456. I remember like you could get these for like $90, $100 at Costco so easily. These are like 4 times your investment right now. But they've been selling like 3, and they've been frequently selling about 3, like every other day or every 2 days. Otherwise, it's been about 1 to 3. And yeah, we're heading toward 465 to 470 pretty soon. These bundle displays, actually, I keep selling. Another one sold yesterday, and for about 1150. And when I look at the price points now, this might be the same seller, but yeah, it's at 1160, and then we get to 1200 again. And posters, Posters have been selling less lately, ever since they rose to about 34. But they are heading to $35, so they are starting rising. I do remember when these were around $40. The main displays they sell about one every other day, so one sold yesterday. And they're heading toward there's one more until 235 and then 242. The binders they sold one yesterday, and Barber Card still has theirs. Seems like they maybe raised their price a little bit. But yeah, they have their 9 there. I already went over Blue and Waters. Alright, Prismatic. So the biggest thing is that the PCTBs have risen suddenly for some reason. They're selling at 270, and also the PCTB cases have also gone up. So you see, 7 were sold yesterday, and that's not really an abnormal amount of like demand or sales or anything. Um, but suddenly we just see the supply just sort of dwindle. There's 150, but yeah, all these are around 270. We're even hitting 275 pretty soon. So I don't know, Prismatic PCTV seems to be on the rise, possibly because there's been so many reprint news of Prismatic, and the only really safe one is the PCTV, which if you're looking at like 151, it's kind of the obvious thing. 151, the PCTV is way more expensive than most of the other things. And then the PCTB cases, I also noticed they sold 3 yesterday. It's divided by 4, it's about 400 something dollars. And so, yeah, PCTB cases have already been really expensive. But yeah, this is just, if you look at the sales, some of them were a little less expensive, but at $600, about 400. At $1,700, that's 425. So, yeah, there's always been a good premium. People are picking these up just because like they're so like these are actually really really rare because they stopped allowing people to order 4 after a bit when they were released. And then ETBs are down about $1. Sold 34 yesterday. These are like really cheap now on the market because of the Sam's, Costco, something like that. So if you can pick up any locally, it might be a good deal if you get it for like $85-$90. But yeah, right now it's about 104 to 107 right now. It still hasn't quite dropped to 100. But with the new sort of Sea and Sky sort of version of Prismatic, Prismatic packs might drop in general. Super Premium collections, they sold 19, so that's pretty good. And um, yeah, they're just heading more. They're around 225. They're heading toward 225, and then 225 seems to be really the next stable price points. Super Premium collections they're up about $5 right now, so that 223. Yeah, these I'm looking out for because the price per pack is still pretty decent right now. And also similar to 151, I think it'll follow similar something to like the UPC a little bit. Um, so yeah, like be on the lookout for all the Prismatic reprint chaos right now for these more rare items that they're probably not gonna reprint as much. For bundles over here, sold 23 yesterday. They're about $670. And yeah, a lot of prices are around $69 right now, so that's sort of normal. Packs sold a bunch of packs yesterday. The pack price is kind of shifting upwards. It's kind of weird. But yeah, 124 packs sold yesterday. Pack prices are shifting more toward like $10 now. Which is not a lot of supply below $10, so that's a little surprising considering all the reprint news. Um, Bundle displays they haven't been selling, so they're still at about 1225. For binders, they dropped all of a sudden after it looks like about 5 were sold. Yeah, 5 were sold, and yeah, they're heading towards $70, and now they dropped again. Probably because I don't know. I guess they're affected by pack price, but yeah, they were heading towards $70. I'm not really sure what happened with that. And then tin displays, they've been selling pretty consistently about 2 every other day, 2 a day or 1 a day on average. But there's just a lot of supply for it, so they haven't been moving. Also, probably another good pickup you can find sealed displays. Alright, Crown Zenith, we are definitely seeing finally about 1350 packs. So there was a 50 pack sold yesterday, and all the 1295s are gone. Even like the lowest listed is $13. There's 1 pack there, and then there's 4 packs at 1325, and then we're straight at 1350 now. So this is the sort of new price point for Crown Zenith. And we should see more activity for Sea and Sky because now it's very undervalued all of a sudden. But yeah, it seems like a lot of people want to go $13.50 to $14 for Crown Zenith right now. And let's see, The Sea and Sky sold zero yesterday, so still hasn't quite picked up yet. I think eventually people will do the math and they'll start buying these out. But yeah, just look out for that. These things are heading for at least 180 pretty soon. It's kind of the minimum. For the ETBs, they sold one yesterday, and yeah, there frequently goes to 185. There's just some sellers, mostly because there's too much supply at 190. So Drew's Gaming Galaxy has these 190, so people haven't been picking these up. And then the bundles, they sold zero yesterday. And now there's four bundles for about $100. So they've dropped back to $100. It's very volatile, kind of this market, or it's very easy to change. You just need to have a couple of sales, a couple of bundles added, but yeah, not a lot of bundles on the market. And then the PCTP, another one sold yesterday, and there's still some hovering around 450. All right, for Palladium Face, the booster bundles are now 68, which is a little more in line, but they're still pretty cheap. And then the bundle displays went down by $8. If I look at booster bundles, selling about 15, kind of normalish, and I'm still waiting for these to 70, 72. I think these will do pretty well. And then packs are still just sold a small amounts, so 3 yesterday, 4 today, and yeah, we're still seeing packs drops maintained to be at 1150 to 1190. ETBs, they sold zero yesterday and two today. Um, yeah, we're heading toward 220. Oh, this is like 210. This is like, and then it goes 220. So right now there's just a cheaper seller right now selling three. PCTB still around 315. Sold zero yesterday. Just been struggling to break out this price point. There's always a couple of sellers. And then booster bundle displays, still around $800. Train Cargo still hasn't raised their price. Here, but the supply is dropping for the other sellers. So honestly, this really isn't the worst pickup because I think the bundle display premium would be pretty good. The price per pack isn't that bad. All right, Dragon Together continues to sell some crazy activity. So that big rise to 276 went back down to 260 after dropping $16. But there's two things going on. There's been a case repricing. So cases are now minimum 225, 227. So these booster boxes at 220 are pretty cheap. Um, and also, when you look at the box that went to 275, there's a big spike in sales. This is the most number of sales of the whole month at 9. You see someone bought 8 of them for 266 yesterday, and then someone even paid $300 for a Dragon to get booster box. Like, that's crazy. And yeah, you see one here at 260, but then still goes up to like 268, guys, and then 275. So we're still like, this thing just looks like it's gonna keep rising. And then for the normal booster box, like, you're still getting a couple of sales. You see 3 sold yesterday. There's this one seller for like like about 219, goes to 220. Like, I think some people will always like list some of them here, but otherwise, like, this is pretty clearly 225, 230 booster box. And then for cases, there were no sales yesterday, so none of them yesterday. But there's repricing because there's some 1,320 cases yesterday. Now they're all gone. So there's this one here, and then over here you see like the minimum here is 1375. So, and there's no sales yesterday, so it's been a big repricing all of a sudden. I've been talking about how scarce cases are, and then as far as like demand for other things, the ETBs actually have pretty good demand. 17. That matches this other peak over here. 17. The only other peak was this 40 over here, but ETBs are starting to sell a little more. And then the PCTBs, they sold zero yesterday. But yeah, still heading around to about 130. And then the bundles sold about 6 yesterday, which is actually pretty low. Alright, Final Fantasy. So the collector boxes keep dropping around another 14. Otherwise, things dropped like $1, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. Like Omega packs, yeah, they are starting to drop back down from like around 150. Now they're at 147. And then so price per pack for collector boxes is still really really good compared to everything else. But hopefully this will decrease the prices to make pickups a little easier. Let's look at demand. So still seeing a good amount of demand for Final Fantasy boxes. Still about 10 to 15. 15 sold yesterday. And the only issue is that there's still a bunch of bunching up. People are desperate to sell it at around 1400. I think a lot of people think it's gonna drop. We're getting a little desperate now. For cases haven't been selling, unfortunately, and now there's about 3 cases around 9,000, which is unfortunate. For the loose packs demand has been a lot higher lately, just selling at 40. So packs though, you can see like the where a lot of demand is coming from. The packs are running out quickly. Everything else is gonna go up, and MVP Sports Games keeps keeping the price down around 129. But I don't know how if they can do it forever. Otherwise, a lot of people do want to sell for about 138. I just wonder if anyone's paying the higher prices. A lot of people are just buying from them. They're trying to be the main seller of boost packs. Omega packs sold 6 yesterday, 2 today, and we are heading back to 150 kind of soon though. It could rise to 153. Japanese boxes sold 3 yesterday, which is pretty good for Japanese boxes, but yeah, the prices keep dropping ever so slightly. There's price bunch up. 777 was the lowest price a while ago, and now it's like the higher prices. These play boxes sold 30 yesterday, and some play boxes are kind of maintained in demand, but there's still a good amount of price bunch up around 235, 240. There's a little bit 243 here, so maybe they'll rise. And then these cases I've been looking at, I've been having a lot of interest in. Zero sold yesterday, so people aren't really biting at these prices yet. But we'll see. There has been gaps in demand, so maybe it's just a slow day. And then gift bundles, they sold 10 yesterday, so demand has generally been definitely lower. Sold 20 to 15, now it's going to 10. But yeah, they could still easily rise about 205, 207. That wraps things up for this video. I hope you walked away with a better understanding of the market. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more deep dives in the Pokemon market. Tell me what's the next big investment you're considering in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all later.